I'm sorry, I'm not a part of the opening ceremony, but I'm supposed to start my presentation. Is it okay? Are you expecting me to speak or somebody like a Secretary General of UN? Okay, so my name is Atsushi Koresawa from Asian Disaster Reaction Center, which is based in Japan, in Kobe City actually. And I'm going to talk about March 11 earthquake and tsunami, which is officially named Great East Japan Earthquake. You may have already heard of that. This is a photo we took together with my colleagues sitting behind 10 days after the earthquake and tsunami. And today is exactly 2 months after this disaster. I like to start with this graph showing number of casualties, the victims of disaster after 1945 in Japan. And before March 11 earthquake and tsunami, we have the up to here actually. And the biggest, largest disaster in Japan in the past was Kobe earthquake or Hanshin Awaji earthquake in 1995. If that time we said, oh, this was unprecedented natural disaster in Japan, so that we learned a lot from this disaster. But as you can see, so much difference between the Kobe earthquake and this March 11 earthquake and tsunami. So this is actually the most catastrophic disaster we have ever experienced in Japan in the recent history. What happened, as you already know, it happened 2:46 in the afternoon. By telling this the time of event, I would say we were in a sense very lucky because it happened during working hours, where people are still working and walking around. I could not imagine what would happen if it had happened during in the evening when the people were sleeping. Maybe the casualty of damage would be, human casualty would be much higher. Okay, this is a kind of plate boundary earthquake, and blah blah blah. And the magnitude was 9.0, a momentum magnitude, and it is the fourth largest in the world, since 1900, and the largest in recent history in Japan. As you know, the Chile earthquake 1960 was recorded 9.5, and Alaska earthquake 9.2, and Indonesian Ocean tsunami caused earthquake 9.2, 2004. So actually what happened was we had an earthquake of magnitude 9.0 at 2:46. But soon after that, there are a series of earthquakes happen, like some 20 minutes after, and even after that. So many earthquakes actually happen along this area, in this area. And this source area is about 400 or 500 kilometers long and 200 kilometers wide. So what it means is many hypocenters were kind of interlinked, making the disaster much bigger scale. So you may have already seen the video and photos on TV. Let me just go quickly. This was the photo of one of the small city facing sawtooth deer coast area, which was severely damaged. And people are watching at the rooftop, and it was about 40 minutes after the earthquake in Kamachi City. So it happened, it came, was away from and people are still watching from the rooftop, but gradually the waves were approaching them and still coming, and finally like this. So it didn't reach the rooftop, but in many places it reached like a 3-story or 4-story building. So 10 minutes, okay. Let me finish. Yeah. So before that, we, of course, this area was very known as very prone to tsunami, as these areas were had been hit by large-scale tsunami many times in the past. So they were kind of most kind of advanced area in terms of the preparedness for tsunami. But even so, what happened was beyond their assumptions or prediction. So after the disaster, many people say it was one of the unexpected events. Oh, still continuing. And receded, and the following morning. Okay. So this is a kind of northern part of Japan main island. Here is Tokyo, and all these coastal line, more than 500, no, more than 600 kilometers were washed away or hit by tsunami. And there is a kind of clear difference from here, the upper part and lower part. Because upper part, as you can see, were kind of characterized by a kind of complicated topology, which is a kind of saw-tooth or rear coast area, which means there is much small, very small land area between mountain and sea. So small communities are kind of scattered along the coast area. Oh, sorry. Oh, sorry. Okay. But the southern part was kind of flat area, which was not high. So those two different topology made a difference in terms of the damages. I like to go back. Oh, I don't know how to go back. Okay. And this was based on the police examination. About 65% of the people killed were aged 60 or over, meaning many elderly people got trapped by tsunami. Of course, it was much higher than the average proportion of the aged people. So means the elderly got more kind of trapped by tsunami. Also, most of the victims were because of drawing, not by collapse of the buildings. So earthquake was very big in the big scale, but earthquake this time did not kill many people, but mostly by tsunami. And economic damage is still under kind of examination, and this is a kind of rough estimate made available by the public cabinet office of Japanese government. It was a very rough estimate, but it was the estimate is that economic damage, direct damage to the structures is around between 60 and 25 trillion Japanese yen. So by those figures, this March 11 earthquake and tsunami would be the most, costliest natural disaster ever. Maybe much more costlier than the Hurricane Katrina. There are 3 types of areas which are, the disaster affected areas can be grouped into 3 different types. One is those areas which are mostly the coastal areas were damaged, but the cities and towns still continue functioning relatively well. On the other hand, there are cities and towns, mostly small cities and towns on the sawtooth coast area line. They were totally devastated. Almost all entire communities were gone. So all functions were lost. And there is another type in the middle. Let me show you by those groups. So this is a Sendai city, it's a big city, and this area is only damaged by the coastal area. Whereas this is a small town named Odagawa town, which is surrounded by mountain, between mountains sea. This town was totally washed away, as you can see, and many buildings, concrete buildings, reinforced concrete buildings were damaged and fell down. So we believe that three-story reinforced concrete building should be enough to protect people if people can go upstairs. But this shows, tsunami waves even reach the top of the 3- or 4-story building, and even collapse the reinforced concrete buildings. So in this sense, this disaster was a kind of unexpected event for many experts. This is another town. More than 50% of the communities were washed away, and here again, many concrete and reinforced concrete buildings were, totally damaged. So this is aerial photos before and after, as you can see the difference. How many minutes I have? I don't know. So as you know, Japan is on the Pacific Ring of Fire, and we predicted and still predict many earthquakes would occur along the subduction zone. And what happened was not one particular earthquake, but many earthquakes we predicted took place one after another. That exactly happened. And this particular one was expected to happen in the next 30 years with a 99% probability. So we expected big subduction interplate earthquake would happen in the near future. But as I said, the magnitude was beyond our preparedness assumption. We have both. Those areas had both structural measures and non-structural measures in place. And this is one of the this breakwater was known as the biggest one in the world, which is located at the mouth of Kamaisi City Bay. The ones I showed the photos before. This breakwater was the biggest one in the world. It was broken by tsunami. But after the examination by one research institute, it helped to reduce the impact of tsunami, about 40%. So many people, particularly in the mass media, and many people said, "Oh, we spent so much money to invest for the structural measures like dikes, breakwaters, water gates, and so on and so forth, but they are not effective at all." But the truth is, they helped to reduce the impact. But structural measures alone would not be enough, were not enough. It should be complemented by non-structural measures. And this is an early warning system. We had very good, efficient early warning system. Okay, just 1 minute. Warning message, reached all the communities along the almost all Japan within few minutes. Then they continued issuing warnings, including the information about the arrival time of tsunami and the possible height of tsunami. They continued issuing that information, and people received that information and had reasonably enough time to react in some places. This is one of the photos of Kamaisi City. This is actually the primary school student together with a secondary junior high school student. They were trained to evacuate after a big earthquake. They felt a big earthquake and they suspect a tsunami. They went evacuate hand in hand as trained before, and they survived. So that's a good example. Now we are in a recovery process, and the problem is still 130,000 people are staying at the evacuation center like this one. Government is started constructing temporary housing like this one. Okay. Okay. Let me finish by this. Now, still provision of relief goods is important, and restore basic infrastructure and public services and so on and so forth. What is going to be very important is we have to examine what measures, pre-disaster measures worked well and what didn't work. Why? And we have to prepare for the next unexpected event. It may happen in the future. My organization ADRC and IRP International Recovery Platform will continue to work on this and report back to you. Thank you very much.